So these are the top 5 worst Premier League teams to follow on social media. Yeah, so before we get to see who the top 5 are, I think maybe let me just break down in terms of the criteria that I used in terms of determining the worst of the worst in terms of social media presence. So one criteria that I used is engagement rate. I also gauge the frequency of their posts, how they do their post, when, per day, per week, and then also in terms of the content, the variety in terms of the content that they put out, and then also I gauged even their activity across some of the more active or well-known platforms: your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, and your YouTube. So those are the 4 platforms that I used. And then also in terms of the utilization of video, audio, and even still pictures. And then also I also looked at the graphics in terms of what the teams produce. So let's get into it. Spot number 5 goes to Police. It goes to Police 11. Police 11, looking at the information that I gathered, they're only present on one platform, that is Facebook. No Twitter, no Instagram, no YouTube that I can find. So if maybe I didn't search properly, but that's the information that I gathered. They're only present on one platform, that is Facebook. And then the Facebook, the graphics are not that good. I'd say they're average. And then the engagement rate is very, very, very horrible. In terms of the frequency of posts, it's quite low. The content that they put out, it's your match day squad, your live updates, and yeah, that's just about it. So there's really nothing interesting when you go to that page. The pictures sometimes are good, and hence they are number 5. And then number 4 has to be Botswana Fighters. Botswana Fighters, the one that are only present on one platform. Having searched, I only found one platform across all the 4 platforms that I was using: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So the pictures are good. It's a match day, and then in terms of the graphics, it's the games, how the game the live graphics, not bad, and then also the pictures are quite good. I think that's just about it. The engagement rate, it's very low. The frequency of the posts, 1 or 2 a day, and then more on match days. But if there are no match days, the page is quiet. There's no engagement. There's no anything that they can put out. So hence they occupy spot number 4. And then number 3, it goes to Prisons 11. So with Prisons 11, I think most of the Premier League teams are very active on social media. Are active on Facebook. Let me just note that. And they've somehow neglected other platforms. Most of them, as with Prisons 11, they're only active on one platform, which is Facebook, and then Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. They're really non-existent. So with Prisons, the graphics are quite horrible. The pics are good. Graphics, I mean, in terms of the match day graphics, match day, even the live, live game graphics are quite bad. And the engagement there, it's very low. The frequency of that post per day, per week, is very, very minimal, and hence they occupy the 3rd spot. And then number two has to go to Tumurupule Wanderers. Lebone, just like with other teams, they're only active on one platform, which is Facebook. Bone, the engagement, I'd say non-existent there and there, but there's really nothing on their page. The graphics that they put up and the pictures that they use are quite not up to standard, and the engagement rate on it's very low in terms of the utilization of pictures. Yes, there and there. Video, dope. In terms of audio, nothing there. So hence they occupy the second spot in terms of the worst team to follow. And then drum roll, in terms of number one, the worst teams of all the Premier League teams currently for the 2021-2022 season. The worst team to follow, BR Highlanders. BR Highlanders tota they mathomosa pelo in terms of the activity online. Lebone, just like others, they're active on one platform, which is Facebook. They have engagement in or it's, I don't know how to measure it. It's very, very low. The pictures that they use, they're not that good. More when they take pictures from other teams for the image, they use those, which is really not good. The graphics that they use are very bad. The pictures that they take are often used on mobile, and they're really not that good, not that appetizing to the eye, and there's really not much activity on the page. And they try with the live updates, but really they are really not up to par with the other teams. Hence they occupy spot number one in terms of the worst team to follow on social media. So that's my top 5. I used the criteria that I used, and if you guys have any other inputs or suggestions as to which other team you feel maybe they deserve to be into the top 5, do drop a comment and then let me know. So I think moving forward, this is a challenge to all these teams that I've mentioned and others, to try as much as possible to improve their online presence, get graphic designers if possible, get people to assist even though maybe you do not have the funds. Look for guys to volunteer and do your graphics, take your pictures, because it really portrays what the team is, and having such a strong digital presence, it helps in terms of the attractiveness of people to engage and follow your content. So I think that's it. That's my top 5. You will add yours, and adios.